Hey y'all, what's up? So this video is not going to be aesthetically pleasing. This video is not scripted or put together. I'm more so just following a thought that I had to talk about something specific. I've been slightly vocal about my experience with marriage restoration. More so, I've only spoken to select people that I'm plugged in with on social media, my close friends on social media, my friends in real life, even like people that I know miraculously found me, and thus I am supposed to share my story with them. But as of lately, I've been feeling like I need to emerge in front of strangers and share my story. I used to have this very romanticized idea of what it would look like for God to restore my marriage, what it would look like for God to mend what was broken in my marriage. And life experiences have taught me that we just need to cut romanticism out. I'm ashamed to admit this now. I had abandoned my covenant with God, and He used the issues in my marriage to show me that. And I had done this early on in the marriage. I was doing the thing, but I wasn't actually nurturing my relationship with the Lord because I had replaced Him with my idea of what my marriage should, would, could look like. And that was difficult for me to accept. I don't think that we women do that enough, where we humble ourselves to let the Lord correct us and show us who we are, because we are so focused on our desires. We're so focused on our plans, our goals. We're so focused on our ideas. I can speak for myself, but I'm sure I'm not alone. We have this idea, our perfect image in our minds. Real quick tangent. I'll never forget, I met this woman. For the first time meeting her, she looks at me and she says, "The picture you painted is a beautiful picture, but that's not your picture." And when she said it, it wasn't something that was foreign to me. She wasn't saying something that I didn't already sense. She wasn't saying something that I didn't really already know. It was just hard for me to accept. Like, this canvas that you had, you created this beautiful masterpiece from your imagination, and it's a beautiful picture. But baby girl, that's not your picture. And if I'm honest, even when she told me that, I still was very much like, I don't want to accept that. I don't want to accept that. There's still some days where I have to remind myself, like, Arnicia, that's not your picture. It's a beautiful picture. It's somebody's picture, but it's not yours. And that's okay. It wasn't just about me welcoming God into my marriage to change my husband. It was about me welcoming God into my marriage to change me as well. And that's where the real hard work started to come in. When God said, okay, cool. Now that I got your attention, I need you to stop worrying about him. Stop focusing on him. Even stop praying to me about the problems. Stop. And let me start dealing with your heart. Let me peel back the layers of your heart and start to show you what's really in there. Let me even chisel at this creature that you turned yourself into to show you who you really are. When He started showing me what was in my heart, it provided me the opportunity to be humble before the Lord and to really be a disciple. I started to see all the ways that I was wrong. I started to see all of the ways that I had made my ideas my God, made my desires my God. And up to that point in my life, I didn't see that as a problem. I was one of those people who took that scripture verse, He will give you the desires of your heart. I remember being taught that whatever you desire, God will give you. I desired my life to be a certain way. And the Lord showed me, well, Arnicia, I need you to understand that that's not what this is. Marriage restoration isn't just about God turning the heart of the spouse that decides to abandon the covenant. Marriage restoration isn't just about healing the pain of offenses or eliminating problems even. Marriage restoration is about drawing us back to Him. In my experience, it wasn't just about Him restoring my marriage, but He restored me, my mind, my identity, even my desires. A lot of stuff broke. A lot of stuff was broken as a result of sin, as a result of pride, as a result of even coveting. I was coveting someone else's picture, right? Like, all of that is sin, period. I think sometimes we forget that sin is sin. It may vary in particulars, it may vary in description, but at the end of the day, sin is sin. Hey y'all, what's up? So in this video, I was sharing my personal experience with God dealing with my heart about idolatry. I didn't think I was idolizing anything until he showed me that, Arnesia, you idolized your desires, you idolized your perspectives, you idolized your plan, you even idolized this man to be something that he's incapable of being because of his humanity. And that was a hard pill to swallow, but it allowed me the opportunity to be humbled so that God could correct me. Because I had idolized my romanticized perspective and my romanticized idea of marriage, I had placed that above him. So if we're reading our Bibles the way we should be reading our Bibles, we will see time after time after time after time after time, he has to repeat over and over and over, you should have no idols. No idols, get rid of the idols. You should have no other gods before me. It's like God's people are toddlers, right? We can find the 10 Commandments in Exodus 20, and the very first commandment is do not have other gods besides me, none other. The one after that is do not make an idol for yourself, whether in the shape of anything in the heavens above or on the earth below or in the waters under the earth. When I was a baby Christian, I didn't understand that other gods wasn't just applicable to like Oshun and those gods, or like mythological gods like Zeus and stuff like that. But it can actually be your plan. It can actually be your desire. It can actually be you placing your expectations on another person and thus making your expectation an idol. And I had fallen into that without even realizing that. And so if you are in the process of living out marriage restoration, that is one thing that I recommend that you consider, that you go to the Lord and you pray about, that you search your heart about, that you ask the Lord to show you what is in your heart that may actually qualify as idolatry. Be real, be honest, be open, be humble enough to be corrected by the Lord, and allow him to show you that perhaps you too have idolized your idea of marriage and what marriage is. Perhaps you too have made an idol out of your desire for what your marriage is going to accomplish or what your marriage is going to look like in this earth. Perhaps even you too have made an idol out of your perspectives about marriage, but also about how your spouse should be, should act. This crossed my mind while I was editing as well. If we aren't careful to understand what marriage restoration is and the intention behind it, we can even make an idol out of that. When we first hear those words, marriage restoration, we think that it is solely about God turning the heart of the prodigal spouse or the rebellious spouse or the cynical spouse. It's easy to come to those conclusions when you first hear those words, marriage restoration. However, it's not one-sided, and it's never God's intention for it to be one-sided. The same way it takes two to make a marriage, the same way it takes two to break a marriage, is the same way that it takes two for God to rebuild and renew a marriage. Meaning, he won't work on one part without the other. I needed to put that in here. There's that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video encouraged you the way it encouraged me. And until next time, guys, remember, it's a daily journey.